baby.
Oh, my camera's not working again.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh.
You're in black and white, like an old 50 show. So
Oh, let me see what I could do. How are you, Susan?
I'm good. How are you? Hi, Carly. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I can't believe we're on week 4. Georgia's presenting tonight. She was just she was at an appointment, so she might be a minute or 2 late. So we will just chat. So how is everybody's 4? I can't believe it's 3 weeks finished. 1 more to go.
It went fast.
Didn't it? It did go
Yeah.
fast. And easier than you thought?
Oh yeah, it really was no problem. After the bumpy start, it was fine. After my bumpy start, it was fine.
Excellent, excellent. I'm glad. What was your favorite part?
I don't know what my favorite part was. I guess that I'm not eating any sugar, and I thought it was going to be hard, and it really hasn't been that hard.
Good. That is important, right? And what is your
For me, I
plan?
think. For me, I think it is.
Yeah, huge.
And I haven't had any heartburn, so for me, that's
Oh,
a
that's
huge,
wonderful. That's a very important part.
a huge accomplishment. Yep.
Excellent. See, so you know, it's so interesting how diet is related to literally everything.
I really think the heartburn is sugar. I mean, I knew, I kind of knew that, right? But like, I feel like you hit a point where you then are like, I just have to do something. And then when you do it, you're like, well, I knew this all along, but you needed that like push to just do it to prove that that was really what it was.
Wow. Good. I hope everybody else is joining us. I know 2 people work on Thursday night and watch Friday. Let's see. I know a couple other people are coming. And what was your favorite recipe that you tried?
I like the one like egg roll in a bowl sort of one that we did. That was a big hit. Everybody ate that one.
Oh, good.
I didn't necessarily use many of the recipes. We cook a lot, so I just kind of used that kind of stuff as like a guideline and just made sure I was eating what I was supposed to be eating, and then like came up with our own stuff a lot.
Well, yeah, I love that you can, you know, that's the whole idea, because it has to be realistic into our own households, right? It doesn't want, you don't want to have something different for everybody else. So you're just exactly like you said, using the base philosophy, the base ingredients, and then creating,
Yeah.
right? A lot. I know Lisa does that a lot too. Lisa, you're very good with recreating different recipes, aren't you?
I think so. I don't mind cooking. I enjoy healthy journey. I'm trying to like change things that I really like. Like tonight, I made some sweet potatoes, but I didn't add it. I just had a little cinnamon and roasted them in the oven, and they're just as good. So yeah, I try to do that. Yes.
Good.
That's what I did the same thing with sweet potatoes tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's for tonight, a sweet potato night.
It must be.
Thanksgiving. Right? Yeah, Thanksgiving should actually be like an easy holiday. Because you just want to fill your table up with all the healthy foods, like roasted vegetables and spaghetti squash and salads and the turkey and homemade cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I just saw on Beat Bobby Flay. He made cranberry sauce and he put up cut up mango in it. It looked really good.
Interesting. I had never
Yeah,
thought,
interesting. I wouldn't thought that, but it looked good. Yeah.
love that. I used to put oranges in, but
Oh,
I've
that's good.
never ever put mango. So
Yeah.
very cool. Very cool. And for sweetening, tons of other things that you could use for the holidays besides sugar. If you do have lactose and you're fine with it, there's a product called Waylow, WHEYLOW, and it is very similar in texture, in appearance as sugar, but the glycemic index is about 88% lower and pretty good for baking. I've been using, when I'm making anything that needs a sweet, I've been using date syrup. And I think it's called Simply Dates that I got at Whole Foods. And it's just sweet enough. It's not sickly sweet. And dates are good because they are nutritious, higher sugar dried fruit, but they are nutritious. And it does add a beautiful sweetness to those foods. So I have not tried the date syrup yet. I can't even find cranberries actually. Has anybody seen fresh cranberries?
ShopRite had them today.
Yeah. Okay. I did not look
In
at
the, well, in the
ShopRite.
bag, in the bag they had.
In the
them, yeah.
bag. Yes, I've been looking for them and they're nowhere to be found, but I didn't look at ShopRite. So I will do that.
What is the syrup called? Date enough?
It's called it's either called Just Dates or Simply Dates. I have it in my cupboard, so I'll let you know. But yeah, I really like it.
What do you think about honey as a sweet alternative?
Honey is healthier than sugar, but it does have a pretty high glycemic index.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And same with agave, even, organic agave, also a higher glycemic index. So the dates, I have never tried making cranberries with molasses. Maybe I'll try that this week. I have a bottle of pomegranate molasses. So if I can find the cranberries, because molasses is very rich in iron and vitamins and minerals. So I will practice with that and let you guys know. I've also been playing around with different breakfast cookies using non-grain flours. I love Teff, Teff, and I love tiger nut and cassava. So I've been playing around with some recipes. I love the three of them because they're all very rich in fiber, especially the Teff and the tiger nut. I think it's 9 grams of fiber for half a cup.
Is that like a flour?
It looks like a flour and it plays the role of a flour, but not flour. It is a root. So tiger nut is actually a root, and so is cassava. Cassava is yucca root. Tiger nut, I don't remember what country tiger nut flour originates from, but it is also a super nutritious root. And teff is what they use for, if you've ever had Ethiopian food, the Ethiopian bread, the injera, which is delicious. It has like a little bit of a nutty, tangy flavor. I'm in love with teff. And so all of those are super, super nutritious, but the tiger nut and the cassava are actually roots. They're not even grains.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I will, if you guys want, I can post something on our Facebook group. If you're looking for, healthier alternative for dessert, I can certainly do that too. Has anybody tried the muffins with the TLS protein powder?
I have not.
Anybody try that? No?
I think I tried it a while ago, and I'm thinking because I can't remember it that well, it probably wasn't like really successful for me.
Okay. I love those. I haven't made it in a while. They're best right out of the oven, but that is very simple. I know the ingredients by heart because it's about 4. It's 2 scoops of the TLS powder, 1 egg, half of a mashed banana, and half of a teaspoon of baking powder. That's with the vanilla TLS powder. And then you could even do a little bit less banana, maybe some blueberries in there. But I like it. I've tried it with applesauce. I've tried it with the banana. I think with the banana, it's much better. And those were delicious. If you're using the chocolate TLS protein powder, you can use same base ingredients, but then also add 2 tablespoons of unsweetened raw cacao powder. And it gives this delicious, very rich chocolatey flavor. And really, really yummy. And those
And I'll just add to that. So adding that extra cacao powder to that will give a lot more antioxidants, which will also add to our topic tonight, creating a sense of calm, right? As much as we look somewhere deep in us like, oh, chocolate's bad, but yet we also know, oh, dark chocolate's good for us. But really what it does hormonally is it really calms and soothes the nervous system. So it is and once again, where does chocolate grow? Where it's nice and warm. So a lot of antioxidants, lots of anti-inflammatories, health promoting benefits. So chocolate TLS muffins is the way to go. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was a tad bit late. I was out to dinner with an amazing woman talking about how we can work together. So it was really good. So who's here today? Betty. Hi, Betty. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Georgia.
And of course, hi, Sandy. Oh, so
Hey,
pretty.
Georgia.
Hi, Amy. And of course, hi, Susan. Who else is here? Is there anybody else here?
Carly.
Carly. I don't see you,
Hi,
Carly.
Georgia. Oh, I had
Oh, there she is. Hi. Good to see you. So tonight we're going to talk about stress. So I'm going to get our little, anybody have anything they want to talk about? I know you were all talking about different kinds of grains and roots and for baking. Is there any other questions you have from the other weeks or?
I have a question about grains. Like, is oat flour not an alternative because of the carbs in it?
In relationship to what?
To use for baking or as an alternative for something gluten-free?
Yeah, oat flour can be. Many times oats are processed in a facility though that has wheat. So you wouldn't like either, oat flour, honestly, any type of flour, if you have a good Vitamixer, you can make your own. I take millet, I make it into flour. I take oats, I make it into flour. I take quinoa, make it into flour. So you really, almonds, make it into flour. Like, it's really just use the raw ingredient. And honestly, I think you're going to have better nutrient than if you're using something else. And even if you did, I'm really now learning a lot more about like making sure I use sprouted grains and sprouted nuts and seeds. So that's another thing. If you sprout, actually this week I ordered sprouted oats. I was like, oh, cool. I don't even have to like soak them, because when we have sprouted items, we are able to digest them more, and we're going to be able to absorb those nutrients a lot better. So for your question, yes, oat flour is an alternative. You could do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let me get into sharing my screen. And let's see for a little bit. Is everybody able to see my screen?
Yes.
Let's just take a minute and like look at this picture. And like, can you identify with any of those emotions when you're feeling stress? Yeah. So, and the other one, I wish there was a picture of is like holding your belly, because that's another one that, you feel it. Like, so can you take a moment and just identify, where do you feel stress in your body? We all have something. And if we could just share with that, just popcorn out something like, where do you feel is stress?
In my belly.
In your belly.
Mhm.
That's me
My
too.
shoulders.
Shoulders.
Yeah,
Very
my neck.
neck and shoulders,
Yeah, my neck and back.
Mhm.
neck and back.
Sometimes I grind my teeth too.
I do that when I sleep. I know if I wake up with a headache that I've been doing that, and usually it's because of because of stress.
Yeah.
So okay, let's just go into our next slide. So basically, stress is something that we have when we have excess pressures. We have a lot of demands placed on us, and honestly, sometimes we have stress in every aspect of our day, right? It can be there, and when we worry that we can't cope. But stress is the wear and tear our minds and bodies experience when we attempt to cope with the continually changing environment. It occurs when the pressure is greater than the resource. And it happens in many different ways. It's sometimes our own illusions that we tell ourselves, like that we have stress. Because sometimes if we put it in perspective, it's actually, we're going to look forward to that experience and we can really make it the best that we possibly can. So sometimes it's an illusionary point of stress. Sometimes it is money, relationships, career, corporate workplace demands that we have. I got to get this done. Time, if so many things, family, kids, grandkids, you name it. It's just, go over there. Now, honestly, the last time Susan and I did this class together, we had a group that they didn't even know that they had stress in their body. They didn't even know, like, they felt that they were, but what they learned at the end of this class is they learned, oh my gosh, I'm really stressed. I didn't even know. And my thing that I want to just add before we continue on is stress is probably, statistically speaking, over 70% of people go to doctors are experiencing stress problems, right? So that's key. But stress is the most debilitating and biggest factor for causing us to have ill health, not having the weight we want to have. Believe it or not, we're not saying that we have to get rid of stress, but we have to learn to manage it. And that's the key. And minimize. Where can we don't need to have all of that. Sometimes we just have too much stuff. Sometimes we're doing things that don't serve us anymore. Sometimes we're doing things that are not fulfilling anymore. And if anything, we've all learned through COVID, it's time to reprioritize. It's time we're like going to a new level of being and awareness and evolution. Really, this is the time. I was just in a seminar today and they were talking about, scientifically speaking, it's like pretty cool. The earth has vibrated at a certain, like 7.5. I don't remember what the unit was, but now it's going and moving it's like 28. It's going up for so much, meaning we're moving faster. We need to learn to only do things that please us, right? And get rid of what no longer serves us. So basically, I was just talking about stress is a perception that we have that we think that we can't handle it, that it's like it's going to tax us, it's going to but really a lot of times, taking a pen and a journal and start to write down, what's the worst thing that could happen? What can I gain from this situation? You start programming your brain in that way, saying everything's working out for me. Like we were talking last night in our Love Your Body group, having affirmations. I approve of myself. I'm divinely guided. I'm doing the right thing, right? And like really using that negative talk that we have and shifting it to be more positive. But what happens with stress? It really throws the whole body out of balance. It just does. So it also affects the body. Now we've all heard that when we are stressed, different hormones are released, right? In a negative way, where cortisol levels are supposed to be low, they're high, or where cortisol levels are supposed to be high, they're low. And what does that all mean? Well, that means your body thinks it's in stress. And Susan and I were just talking about this yesterday morning. When our bodies are in stress, it's going to protect itself, right? It's like we are not evolved. I talked about the earth evolving and its heartbeat, right? But as far as human beings, we haven't evolved that much. We still think we're not going to get food. So when we're stressed, the metabolism's going to slow down. And even if it's one thing you ate for the day and it's a certain number of calories, that doesn't mean anything. But if you could take those hormones and get them back where they're supposed to be, in the morning, your cortisol levels are supposed to be high and your melatonin levels are supposed to be low, like Susan was speaking of last week, right? And we need to get them back. If not, you're going to still, not only you're going to have weight that you don't want, the danger mostly comes around the stomach, and that's visceral fat. Visceral fat is dangerous, right? The mortality rate goes up with that. So not only that as a woman, we like to have our round curves, but at the same time, we don't feel confident. I hear it day in and day out. When we have excess weight, we don't feel our best, right? We don't want to wear the clothes that we really like. We just settle, right? And we don't want to be that way. But not only that, when we're in constant state of stress, that's when heart disease happens, and hypertension and cancer and all of rheumatoid arthritis and any of those autoimmune conditions. And like I heard somebody say earlier, and I'm just as well, when we feel stress in the belly. And that's the thing. It's not normal to accept I have belly pain. It's not okay. Like if you're, work with Susan, make an appointment, you can address that. You got to address that. Like you can't just live with it, because this is like where I'm at right now. And like, we're constantly learning, but when we have stress and it's affecting our belly, now it's also affecting your bones, right? Your foundational structure. So you want to really address belly. That's where we'd absorb our nutrients, right? And if you can't absorb certain nutrients, your body's not going to go through its processes properly. So you will get sick. So there's that HPA axis, and I don't really want to get scientific to you all. I just want to say that basically stress affects every aspect of the endocrine system, every single one. It affects your hormonal production, right? Like your DHEA, like affects so many things. So some of you, I'm going to just take a couple steps back. Cortisol is a hormone. It's secreted in higher amounts during stress. It's the precursor to DHEA that makes those hormones. So we also want to make sure we don't have too little cortisol. We want to have just the right amount of cortisol. Is that hormone that gives you energy in the beginning of the day, right? Another way, Susan was talking last week about keeping it dark in the room. Just the opposite. In the daytime, you want it light. Okay, as soon as you turn the light on, the melatonin goes down. It's just, I'm proving exactly what she said last week is 100% correct, right? And I really want you to understand, you want your room to be dark at night. And then in the morning, you want to get yourself outside. You want to have a very vibrant day, get yourself outside. Your body will stop the melatonin and the cortisol. You want that cortisol level to go 50% higher in the morning. That's what you want. But you want it to be able to go down through the day. So if you're finding, I've been trying everything with my weight, and I've been doing the TLS, and I've been, having results, but yet it's not exactly where I want it to be. And I invite you to look at what we're talking about today. And maybe it is my hormones, maybe my cortisol levels. If you are a science numbers person, you may want to get your cortisol levels checked. I know Susan can order you them. I know I can order you them, or we can guide you to what to tell your physicians. My experience is you have to get the saliva is a better test than a blood cortisol test. So I would search for that practitioner that will help you get that. It's just a little bit more valid. Oh, sorry, hold on for 1 second. Rishi, you gotta go downstairs. I'm on a presentation. Okay, go see Dan. Go see Dan. Susan, can you just, I'm gonna slide the next thing. I'm just gonna get her taken care of.
Yes. So what do we need during stress? We need increased blood flow to the peripheral muscles. We want to lighten the load. We need to get tough and get angry. We need these because if we need to be in that stressful situation, we want to have these reactions. But what we don't want is to be in that chronic stress. A little bit of acute stress once in a while is okay, but not long term.
Thanks, Susan. And like we know that stress, that ability to have that, like if your baby's cut underneath the car, right? That she can lift the car up, right? That's a good thing. That's where we're super excited that we have that ability. We can do things that we need to do. But we also need to, it's almost like just reprogramming yourself. Okay, that event is over. It's time for me to savor this relaxation, right? Simple as that. It's learning to use these tools of just talking to ourselves, calming ourselves down, putting music on that that you like. Keep listening to that same song. Remember, have these little tools. Take a bath, cleanse, take a long shower. Really, just do these type of things to when you've had stress, and then you got to take it down. You had a hard day at work, do good things for you. You don't have to go and drink a big glass of wine. Do other things like I just mentioned. But what you don't need to do during stress is reproduce, digest, and pay attention. If you have a belly thing, think, remember, fight pathogens, heal, make new bones, and make new muscle tissue. This is huge. All these things, like I really want you to understand, if you're trying to have a baby and you're not going to happen, right? If you're trying to write a book or manage a project and you're stressed, you're not going to be able to think clearly. You're not going to be able to remember, oh, what was that person's name I just met? Oh my gosh, that always feels, oh, well, I've talked to him so much, I can't ask him what, those types of things. Make new muscle. Like as we get older, remember Susan said in the first class that every year that we live, we're losing 0.5 pound of muscle tissue. So think about it, if you're extra stressed, you could be even losing more and more. And so that's really key. And like I said earlier, making bones. So you're going to have more bone loss the more stressed you are. And to me, that's super, super important because guess what? You fall when you're older, your mortality rate goes up and the quality of life sucks if you continue to have it. So it's really important to keep your foundation. It's who we are. So acute stress response is critical for survival, just like we spoke of. This is what Mother Nature had in mind, 10 to 20 minutes. So just note that 10 to 20 minutes, like we could do anything for 10 minutes. And that's the same thing, like exercising, when you're feeling, oh, I can't do this. I can do anything for 10 minutes. I can do anything for 10 minutes because that's good for you. Just remember that. Chronic stress is caused by non-immediate biosurvival stimuli, but the response is exactly the same. Okay, so the body's not designed to handle the biochemistry of stress on a chronic basis. Just like I said, long-term effects over 80-year lifespan are more detrimental than a 40-year lifespan. So here are indicators of stress: low energy, head discomforts, headaches, just that, the digestive challenges, muscle tension, just like we talked about, clenched jaw, weight gain. Oh, I'm constantly getting sick, just not getting a cold after cold after cold, poor sleep, lack of sexual desire, I don't care how old you are, you should still have sexual desire. It doesn't have to go away. There's something wrong if you're not having sexual desire, right? And something to address. We are women. We are here to be sensual, sexual beings. That's key. Don't give up on that. Like, don't get cynical. That's a divine right. Nervousness, sensitivities. Those are all things. Emotional indicators of stress: becoming easily agitated, frustrated, moody, overwhelmed, difficulty being in a relaxed state of being, low self-esteem, feeling lonely, depressed. And here's one: craving salty, fat, or sweet foods. Those are emotional response. We're trying to use the food to soothe, right? We talk a lot about that in our programs. Cognitive indicators of stress: constant worrying, racing thoughts, forgetfulness, disoriented, difficulty concentrating, inability to focus, lack of self-care, slowness, poor judgment, being really negative, and procrastinating. So if you have any of these, I just want you to kind of know where that is so you can note how important it is for you to start to manage and minimize your stress. So the top causes in the United States: job pressure, money, health, and relationships. Poor nutrition, media overload, and sleep deprivation. And then in America, I think working longer hours plays a role. Being inactive, like those two kind of go together, right? Like if you want a minute, you got to be active. You got to be moving around. You will never be able to manage it. Our bodies are meant to move. They are not meant to be sitting down in front of a screen all day. They are meant to move. So maybe you start to figure out, remember, if you're sitting here today with us, like Susan and I are here about improving the health of this world. That's our mission. If you're here, you're on that same mission, or you wouldn't be here. And so what I'm saying is, start to be the leader and be like, hey, how about that meeting? We have a walking meeting instead. You can make those suggestions, because remember, this is a new way of being. This is post-COVID. So we're going to start to do things differently. We're going to say, no, I'm not going to work longer hours. I'm no longer productive. Remember, if we work for more than 90 minutes, our productivity decreases by 50%. It's not good. After 1 hour, you should get yourself up, move around. Every hour, move around, and set yourself up for that. Another lifestyle: frequently eating out or packaged meals. It's just, eating out is okay, but not every night. You need to get in the kitchen. And then later nights with fewer hours of sleep, which we talked about a lot, and it was a wonderful presentation last week. So are we more connected or are we disconnected? And I think that says a lot, and I know for me, I want to be more connected, so when I'm with my friends and family, the phones don't come out, and just watch yourself and then ask others for permission. Hey, when we hang out, how do you feel if we, today we put the phones away? I know people that they have like baskets when people go to their houses. Here, let's take your phone, right? So it's not just, different ways of being. It also takes away that sense of overwhelm if you're not going to have that phone and you can't. And if you do have the problem, it's time to keep cleansing of that. Stress statistics: 77% of people who regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress. That's huge. It's almost 80%. 73% regularly experience psychological symptoms caused by stress. 33% feel like they're living with extreme stress. And these statistics were before COVID, so I wonder what's happening. 48% feel these stress has increased over the past 5 years. 76% cited that money and work are the leading cause of their stress. That's a lot. 48% reported lying awake due to stress. 48% say that stress has a negative impact in their personal and professional life, for sure. 31% employed adults say they have difficulty managing work and family responsibilities. 35% cited jobs interfering with their family or personal time as a significant source of stress. 54% that stress caused them to fight with people close to them. And the cost, the annual cost, the yearly cost is $300 billion in related to missing work and healthcare. That's a lot of money. So what can we do? This is the big question. This is what everybody's been working on. And remember, I'm a big believer of small steps, master them, and then continue on. We will never get it done. You will constantly be learning to manage stress. Times life will be easy sometimes and other times not, but we need to have these strategies in place every single day. We cannot become complacent, or we will get sick, we'll get more stress. So take a break from the stressor. So if it's work, take a break, right? Whatever it is, take a break. Exercise, make sure that you move your body. And like Susan said, do whatever you enjoy. I know we were doing a mindful movement challenge, and the women decided they would either do yoga or Tai Chi. One of the ladies said, no, they're not necessarily for me. Doesn't want to get on the floor but she likes to line dance. And it's great. So she's doing these little cha-cha, these little electric slides in the morning and doing this. Another thing of managing stress is laughing, smiling. That's a way to really uplift, get social support, learn. Remember Susan did the breathing technique. Practice it, do it before bed, meditate. I know I have a meditation group on Monday nights at 6:15, and you can join virtually. You don't have to be in person, but that group alone, their lives have shifted so much since they've been, and it's just about coming once a week. Learning to say no, that's a big one, learning that's a really hard one. And you don't have to start saying no to everything, but just start, just make an effort. Making time for fun, relaxation, drinking water, it helps manage your cortisol levels. Eat well. So foods that increase stress, sugar, salt, processed food, junk food, alcohol, coffee. Foods that decrease stress, dark leafy vegetables, avocado, berries, tomatoes, nuts, plant proteins. So how else can we manage with stress nutritionally? Like we talked about the moving, we talked about yoga, relaxation, laughing, and all of those things. But there are also other ways we can manage stress through these adaptogens. And if you can look on the right, the adaptogens come in way different ways. A lot of times they come in roots, they come in leaves, they come in berries, they come in a myriad of ways. So we're going to just talk about that, but they're herbs that work synergistically. And when something, and Nutrimetrics does this so well, they pair together different compounds, different plants that will become 100 times, 200 times more powerful than if they were on their own. And what's amazing about them is they use the research. So the research says, you use this many milligrams of this to produce this result. That's exactly what they use. So that's why the products work so well. And adaptogens, the body will take exactly what they need. They won't take too much to throw you off. They'll just take exactly what you need to cause more balance in your hormones overall. Now I just want to give you a little background. I was a single mom of 2 kids, and father was not involved. So it was pretty hard. I had to do this on my own. So I was 29. By the time I was 31, I hadn't gotten my period. So for like a good 13 months, I didn't menstruate because I was super stressed. And I thought in my head that was okay. That was normal, right? No, that's not normal. So I sought help, and I started to say, okay, what could I do? The one healthcare practitioner that I was working with, she recommended me to take adaptogens. So I was like, okay, whatever, because I was referred to her from my yoga teacher. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll take these things. So I did. Within 30 days, I had my period. It was amazing. It was amazing. So now I honestly, I take adaptogens every day. You know, maybe I miss every now and then. I might take more when I'm under extra stress. And I'm a business owner, right? I have a lot of stress. I am a person that has a hard time saying no. I like to do I need to learn to, but I don't. So I create a lot of my own stress. So adaptogens are really, really, really amazing. So this is a product that Nutrimetrics has put into place that is amazing. So they have two that I really like. One's called Bliss and one's called Axe. Basically, they help you relax. They promote mental clarity. They help your body adapt to stress. They maintain good levels of your serotonin and your dopamine. So they just help your body deal with the stress so you're able to manage it better. They help you with, like, you know, you might have heard of adrenal fatigue. They help you with that. I just have to get my puppy back in here because she's crying. Give me 1 second. So ashwagandha is one of the products, or one of the herbs that's in Bliss. Ashwagandha is also really nice to have, you know, on your own. But what's really nice, like I said, it's the combination. You can keep it open. To have this combination together. So I'm just going to continue on. Passion flower is another one. Look at how beautiful. I grew that in my yard this summer and last, and it's just the most beautiful flower. But it's also known to help aid in keeping a person to sleep as well. So, you know, taking the Bliss can also help you with your sleep.
Hey, Georgia,
Yes.
can I ask you to go back 2 screens? I'd love to take a picture of that.
This one?
That one and 1 second, the one before this too.
This one or more?
That's it, and go forward now.
Okay.
And then forward. Thank you. I was just trying to learn about this product. This is great. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. So while I'm here, I'm just going to go over to the little label. So ashwagandha, the passion fruit, rhodiola, bacopin, that's also known to really help with brain function. Theanine is an amino acid that also creates a sense of calm. And the urethra, is that the ginseng? I feel like that's the ginseng. I'm blanking out on what that is. And ginseng just helps give energy. So it's kind of interesting. So like the Bliss, it creates calm, but it also keeps you having energy. Okay, so we talked about that. Yes, it's ginseng. I just wasn't sure. So ginseng also helps with mental acuity. It's also, if you're dealing with a man, this is a really good product for them as well. You know, women, we go through menopause a little bit later in life. Men actually go through menopause in their 20s. So ginseng is a wonderful. So, you know, if you have any men that are like are grumpy and you want to get them to be a little bit more uplifting and have some more energy and even more of a sex drive, Bliss is a good product. So stress and weight, we know we've talked about this before, but chronic stress, fatigue, difficulty sleeping, having food cravings, weight and body fat increase, impaired physical performance, mental confusion. Okay, so my experience is the more I do yoga, the more I go out for walks and manage my stress, take my supplements as I should, and drink my water and eat well, the thinner I always am, right? It always is that. If I just focus on eating well and doing, you know, the exercise that gives me muscle, I don't care if I do a whole couple hours of that and eat well, I will still be heavier than if I learn to relax and manage my stress. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you are having any of these things, any of these 6 things, look at that. How can I make a commitment to my well-being to manage my stress? And we've talked about, you don't have to do the whole list. Just say, where am I missing here? Where can I really hone in on? So here's the other product that's a really great adaptogen that helps manage stress. This one, in addition to those other compounds, it helps support your thyroid. So if you're having, thyroid related issues, maybe your hair is starting to fall out, you're having difficulty managing your temperature, those types of things, and you really are like, you're really fatigued, this is a really, really good product. There is a price difference. This one's a bit more money, obviously, because it's a little bit more supportive. So if you're really like extra, actually, that's the one I'm taking right now. I switched from Bliss to Axe and I just try things out. Right now, my stress is higher, right? So this is the one for me. And if you've never tried this and you feel like, oh, I highly recommend. Now, this is my experience though. You need to commit to take it every day. It's not something like a cup of coffee where you feel like, oh, I feel a buzz. It's not like that. And sometimes it's a cumulative effect. You're not going to just notice it because you took it one day. I mean, yeah, there's some people that might, but generally it's a cumulative thing.
Oh, I do. I notice it right away.
Okay, so Susan notices every way. I don't find people notice. I personally don't find people. Now remember, Susan's very connected to her body. She's very in tune. So not everybody is in tune with their body. Like they don't even know they have stress, right? So they might not notice it right away. And guess what? Health is our natural state of being. And sometimes you don't notice when you're feeling, you're like, oh, because that's just the way you're supposed to be, right? And keeping that in mind. But it also helps with mood. And so pretty much, like I said, it's pretty much the same ingredients. They add the kelp there at the top. Yeah, so here's the difference in price: $64.50 for the Axe and $38.75 for the Bliss. And then the other thing that can help with stress is your B vitamins. Basically, our B vitamins are water soluble vitamins and they get depleted when we have stress, right? So, which when they're depleted, then we're not able to have normal hormone cycles. We're not going to sleep as well. So our activated B complex, if you're stressed, you're taking it twice a day, more than once a day. And B vitamins do a lot of other things. They help with the heart, they help with your metabolism, they help you with your energy, they help you with your mental clarity, and like I said, your heart. What's different between our B vitamins versus other B vitamins? They, once again, they're the method of delivery. It's going to be delivered into your body about 90% versus 3 to 20% from a tablet or a capsule. They're actually the correct amounts that your body is going to work together as a family. So super important for that. And I'm not going to necessarily go into all that right now. And when we have methylation, the B vitamins are needed. If you don't have the B vitamins, your body's not going to go through the methylation properly. So now you're going to be not very clear focus. Everything's going to be out of whack. You could possibly get, grumpy or depressed. Right? So it's just really important to make sure you have those proper amount of B vitamins. And here's what they look like. They taste good. I like play with a bunch of other things, but generally they're a little bit lemony, orangey kind of flavor by themselves. So if you're stressed and you're not taking these, I highly recommend getting started. Right now, if you're on the Jump Start, you are taking the daily essentials, that has one serving. If you want to keep taking the daily essentials because you like them, that's great. But you could also add a bottle of these for like to take in the evening time or in the afternoon as well. Or you can add like the turn up is something, is definitely more orange flavored. You could do that in the afternoon. Okay, so I like this. So you can take your adaptogenic herb complex, your Axe or your Bliss, you take your B vitamins, and it equals you being by the beach, walking with a beautiful man, you know, so you have that as a visual. Sleep and stress, they're like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like we want to, if we don't get enough sleep, we have more stress, right? If we get enough sleep, we're able to manage our stress. So Susan talked about this last week, but I'll just reiterate, some of you might not have been there. What things are going to affect your sleep, stress, caffeine, food, alcohol, medication, health challenges, uncomfortable bed and pillow. One of my girls, she just got a new mattress, and she's like, oh, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore, you know, because I haven't gotten a new mattress in a long time. So, you know, don't underestimate that. But to stay asleep, you know, some people I see have trouble falling asleep. Some people have trouble staying asleep, but what you need is your body and your brain to need to relax. That breathing helps. Susan talked about this last week. Magnesium really helps relax the nervous system, helps keep you calm. It helps the beginning of those neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine. It's like a precursor. So it's really, really good for you to add if you do have trouble sleeping, to try to get some melatonin, some magnesium. And the proper form of magnesium, like Susan was talking about, the citrate and the glycinate, not the kind that you go and you get your what am I trying to say? You know, that I want to say colonics, that's not what it is. Before you get help me out here. The colonoscopy. Yeah, that one. I couldn't get that one out. Fish oils are also really important for aging, for anti-inflammation. So also helps you with your digestion, your heart, your sleep, your weight loss. I'm not going to necessarily go into that right now, but I do want to say this. I do hear a lot of people who say, I take fish oil, but then I'm like, well, how much do you take? Well, it says 700 milligrams here, just give you an example. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not enough, right? Oh, well, it says here that it has EPA and DHA, you know, and it doesn't, like there doesn't say where it comes from, what kind of fish, right? So that's an important aspect, is you want to make sure that you have 3,000 milligrams, right? You want to have the proper amount. You want to know where it comes from. You want to know that it's third party tested. Oh, I think it said it's tested for mercury. Like you want to be able to know that it doesn't, you want it, where is it coming from? You know, and that's why you want to have a company that you trust. And that's where all across the board, you know, the TLS products and Nutrimetrics, everything is third party tested. It's not just what they say. So it's super, super important. And you want to know that your stuff's clean. Guess what? The supplement industry is not regulated, nor is the drug industry, but it's just not. And you need to make sure that you can get something that's third party tested, because then you know it is what they say it is. Okay, so we have all this written out. Okay, cool. So this one comes from small fish, anchovies, sardines. Remember, big fish eat lots of things. So there's a lot more chance of contamination. Small fish, they're young. They haven't done that yet. So you want to go with small fish. Same thing when you're eating fish. If you can, you know, if you like sardines and anchovies, it's a really good way to go. Small fish. Okay.
I eat sardines all the time.
Oh, that's great. My mom used to. I really keep trying to get her to eat them again, because she really could use that.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm just gonna go kind of. This is a nice product, and this is a product that I do take personally every night. I started going through menopause at the beginning of the year, and like everything just shifted, and I always go to sleep, stay asleep, never wake up. Now I could say that I'm back to that. Maybe once in a while I get up to go to the bathroom, but I'm able to go right back to the bathroom or go back to bed. I started taking this like, I don't know, a year ago, somewhere last winter. And now it's wonderful. But not only is it good for sleep, it's also good for calmness and decreasing inflammation. Remember, we talked about synergy. So it's got the CBD with black cumin seed. Those two work together. They decrease a ton of inflammation. So I take it before bed, and I think it's a wonderful product. Remember, you don't want to just say, like, pretend you're on this call today. You don't want to just take everything that I say today. You want to try different things and see, yeah, I like it, I don't. Change it up.
This is a product that we buy 2 at a time in my household that my Roy will not live without.
That's how Dan
He
is.
has
now.
he's a very senior executive and has at times a lot of stress, and it's a must have. It's his favorite product.
Yeah, Dan, like, buy me 3 bottles because you keep running out. So he has 3 bottles now, and so I get it. It's funny, but it is a really good product. I had a woman that has she's a stressful corporate job, but she works from home, and she has a lot of pain in her back because she's sitting down, but she takes this every day and gets a lot of benefit from it for that reason. So she's taking it during the day. I already talked about how wonderful that is. Thimonol is another one that's also helps with memory and cognition, attention. So that's another good one to take. I'm not going to go into that. Just a kind of reminder, and I just want to hear if everybody would just state, like, what's your big going to go and do a little bit more of? Is it going to be exercise? Is it going to be taking a break? Is it going to be laughing, meditating, breathing, learning to say no, scheduling more fun, drinking more water, eating better, trying some adaptogens? So if we could, everybody just share what's your action step going to be?
Meditation.
I've also been trying to incorporate more meditation too, so I'm going to stick with that.
Good.
I meditate every night, but I think I should add some yoga in as well.
I like that. Great.
I want to laugh more.
Exercise.
Laugh and exercise. That's great.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. So if you have any, what was anybody's awareness? If anybody wants to share, like, what was like, oh, I never knew that. Did anybody get any big takeaways today?
I've never heard of adaptogens.
Cool. That's cool. Because now you'll start to hear about them, and there'll be like articles that pop up in your face. And yeah, you'll start to see. So cool. I hope you get it to try them.
I also think it's a really good reminder with darkness at night and lightness when you wake up in the morning. I think that's something good to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. I did want to show everybody something. See if there's any more here. I think I'm good. I just have to get rid of this thing. I'm gonna just move you guys. So I just want to see if I have it here. I had it and I put it down. Okay, so I want to check on this one. It disappeared. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is what it should look like. We just, like you were talking about the light in the day. Do you see like 6 a.m. the cortisol levels are going up, that melatonin is going down, right? And you could see naturally after it gets dark, every hour after you get dark and you're sitting here with under lights, your body's producing less melatonin. So it's
Wait,
really important that we, like Susan said, dim the lights at night. Don't have bright lights. It's because your body's going to make less melatonin, which is going to inhibit your sleep. And remember, melatonin is a natural antioxidant. So this is a healthy what it looks like, right? So you could see they should be opposite. What happens is many times they start to be exactly the same. And that's not what we're aiming for. Okay, so we're aiming for all those things that you talked about to do right now are going to make big differences in your life. But please challenge yourself to, like, when we're creating a habit, we want to keep it done for 30 days. Just keep it going. Assess it at the end of 30 days. See, do I need to adjust or not? Remember, you can seek Susan or me to help you with guidance. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to stop my share, and I just want to say, we have completed our 4-week program. I know there were some people that were interested in continuing. I don't know what the verdict is yet. With that, I might have to ask Susan to talk about that. But I do want to say that we are doing, Susan's going with me. We're doing an Italy retreat, a yoga retreat in May 14th. So if anybody's interested, we're doing an information session on Sunday at 4:00. So that's an opportunity to learn more. Also, once again, travel's another way of learning to manage your stress. So we have that. And then I think what we are working on our next year, so keep an eye to our next round of TLS classes. So they will be coming out in January. So we're gonna work on that. We also keep eye on us on our Facebooks, because we have some amazing things going to happen. We're going to do some challenges that are going to be really life changing. So look out. We would love you to be with us, and so we can have fun together. Those will be really fun. Susan, did you want to say anything?
I don't think so. Definitely keep looking at the Facebook group, even though this is week 4. Georgia and I will still post different things. Thanksgiving is coming up. You guys have done so well during this course. I don't want you to get off the bandwagon for the holidays, and it's easy to stay eating the healthy way. So we'll continue giving those little tips to help you ease through the holidays, ease and breeze through the holidays.
Ease and breeze. I love it. That's great. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Talk to you
Good
soon.
night. Bye-bye.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.